This is your daily market recap for Monday, March 28th, 2022. Let's go.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you.
This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Monday, March 28th, 2022. Let's get into it. As always, we start off in the Discord room and talking about the markets, the trades we're up to, what we're thinking, and it's pretty interesting. Let me just start on a rant because a lot of people are talking about it. S Money and KP, I know you guys have seen this stuff before, and the straight line move up is very reminiscent of a bear market rally. Now, again, you don't know the peak when you get bear market rallies because they go straight line. It's no different than a bull market, kind of sell-off. Like usually sell-offs in bull markets are, they down pretty quickly and then they pop up. So it's just one of those things where at this point, don't get mesmerized by the price action. Like I always tell people, like the faster something rises, the less you want to own. You got to be very, 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 very careful because that's when the traps happen. The emotions of security, everything seems guaranteed, is when things typically start to turn around. So on that rant, hopefully you've heard this before, or this is new to you. Just keep that in mind. Like, how many times have you been in a trade and you thought everything was going great and it looked perfect and was going absolutely bonkers, then it turned around on you, So just keep in mind your emotions can cloud the judgment. And that's why I said when things are dropping, if I'm short, I'm taking money. If things are rising straight lines, I'm taking money. Bitcoin, congratulations, bulls. Finally, we got into the VAP zone. Talked about 45,000. We've got over it. At this point, your next resistance is the top of this area around 49,000 to 50,000. Well done. Congratulations. I did not buy any of it, but I know people own it, and hey, good for them, man. That's a great trade if it's working out for them. All right. TLT. Sorry, and again, this is going to be a long video because there's a lot of stuff going on intraday, and I wanted to start this as the market was closing. We talked about the TLT. Love to sell puts if it gapped down. We didn't. We popped up. We hit the 8-day. We're just chopping. At this point, again, don't get mesmerized by this big down move thinking that it can only go in one direction. If you keep in mind what's going on, previously, we are at the 100-month, and again, I told S Money, I think same thing. He's like, the TLT closes below the 100-month, I'll eat a sock. We'll split a pair of socks, which is just kind of a joke. But the reality is that end of quarter positioning extends the moves, and now we're getting choppy down here. If we backtest this trend line, I'll sell puts. If not, I have my position. I expect it to go higher. Now, when no one else is expecting that, which is exactly why I think we're close. And again, there's a lot of other things we've discussed in other videos, but that's what I'm looking at. The VIX termination, total slam. Oh, dollar, sorry, piece. Got to get back in the dollar real quick. People are watching it. Back up near range highs. Keep that in mind. No volume. Probably not going to break out, but that could be a professional gap or it's a novice gap top. Again, I don't really care too much about the dollar unless it's super volatile, which it hasn't been. Back to the VIX termination. Yeah, look at this. I mean, 38 down to 20. Everything's great in the world, I guess. We'll see what happens here. Again, we broke the trend lines we talked about. Once that happened, back at the 20 level, we're at low risk. Again, could it get back down into the 15, 16 level? Whew, that would be interessante. That would be very interessante. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'm watching. As I said in the Discord room just before I recorded this, if you wanted to start shorting indexes, Q, SPY, IWM, I give it my blessing in the sense that the risk is now totally worth the reward, and you're at zones that matter. What did we talk about last week and the week before that after it started popping? This could always come into play. Just because we get up here, I don't all of a sudden change my mind. I mean, I tell that to people all the time. Like, don't make your decisions slowly and act quickly. Like, if you want to start shorting in the mid 455s, I mean, I literally said this. Go every video. Said, hey, watch this area. And the straighter line move, the higher, like, pop goes, more likely it pulls back pretty quick. Now, could it retest and then fail? Ultimately, time will tell. QQQ, same kind of thing. I mean, it's a never-ending game of repeating patterns here, folks. And if you're watching the levels, this is a level we talked about. Could we get up to the 200-day and 370 area? Yeah, my My trading computer has way better charts. Let me pull that chart up real quick that I just dropped on the Discord room. You were back testing some old trend lines on the Qs. Keep in mind here in the 364s, I think that's a viable short. Now, again, when I say put on a short, please do not hold it forever. It's a trade. It's not even a short swing trade for shorting. Like, you have to be very, very careful. Do not go all in. Keep in mind what is going on. We talked about the IWM has been a laggard. Lagging. It typically leads. Look at this shit. It's nowhere close to making new highs. It is at its trend line. Is that trend line that important? I wouldn't put that great, but just notice it's lagging. That's all you really need to know. And so going into the close here, it's interesting to watch the Qs, because in the SPY, what do we say? If we close near the highs, maybe they gap it up. Maybe they gap the sucker up right up to these spots. Ultimately, be smart. All or nothing trading is absolutely not smart. It's gambling. Like, you're fishing. You're fishing in the right zone. If you need to change lure, you need to move to a different spot. That's what you do. Pick your spots wisely. I have some shorts going. We'll get into them in a second. Remember, IWM, totally lagging. Gold. Again, I don't have this drawn on this computer, but we do have it on my Twitter. I apologize for the slight delay, but I don't want to update it. You can just see very quickly. I drew a primary trend line for gold. Where is said trend line? Come on, where are you, gold? Here we go. We are currently breaking it right now. It's this orange trend line. Talked about it this morning. Now, I guess we should technically draw it on the daily. You'll see, we connect the bottoms from here. We are breaking it. Be aware, end of quarter games. Say this over and over and over again, and people just, they again, watch the video, last three in the first 3 days of a month, new quarter. There is volatility. And volatility might be coming down, but there is extreme, like, price action as on low volume. So this is one of the things that's happening with gold. It's all pulling back on light volume. It's the same thing with the SPY running up here. Notice how the volume is just dying. Like, it's just, it's getting lower and lower and lower. So you're stretching the rubber band. Just keep in mind. Silver, same kind of thing. Hey, what's up, Kat? We are under the 20-day, sadly, and now you are back at some levels where the 22s, where you need to hold. Ideally, if you were waiting patiently to buy, I think you got the mid-22s would be ideal. That's how I'd look at it. Now, again, hindsight is 2020. Do not rush into these trades. Do not think just because something is happening, you have to act right away. Same thing with layering in, layering out. Look at the Qs pumping into the close. Like, we'll keep an eye on it as we're going. GDX. If gold and silver are pulling back, what's happening? Remember, we talked about retesting the range highs. Now you need to hold a 20-day. It's really that simple. GDXJ, same kind of thing. Breaking the 20-day. Keep in mind, we are back testing. Back testing on the monthly, the channel, 20-month. We'll see what happens. I, again, am anticipating market weakness at some point. And again, playing the odds, it's straight line moves. Zing. For a Q, same kind of thing. Straight line moves, they're typically, they're nice coming off of lows. And now, so that's where the argument gets really difficult. Is this the bear market rally or the low? We'll see. Let's get into some of the other miners. AEM. I know Eric was talking about buying the dip. So far, it looks like it has a tail. I imagine he got somewhere close to the low, meaning that he probably got under at 60. Nice trading. AG. Wow, look at Apple pumping in the close. I'm interested to see the volume. Yep. What did we say? Pull back to this trend line. Even down here would be a gift. I put that on Twitter. Because say you technically break the trend line temporarily, because that happens sometimes in traps. That would be a great buy. Pass. Pulling back. Don't be surprised now with this action. Don't get locked into certainty. Like, the market doesn't go up every single freaking day or down. Same thing with the miners. I feel like money is rotating stupidly from the things that should be leading to the things that have been lagging. That's usually a sign in a bear market or in a correction that, and when I say correction, like, you can call this if it is technically a bear market, then this is a correction. I'm saying, like, watch GameStop, watch AMC, watch all these piece of crap trading stocks that are just going absolutely bonkers. Do I even have them on this trading computer? Yeah, GameStop up, $37. AMC up 50%. we're closer to the end than the end of the, we're the beginning of the end versus the end of the beginning, I guess. Whatever, I butchered that completely, but that's what I'm thinking here. Let's get into letter X. Talked about selling this up in the mid 38s. Nice little pullback. Keep in mind, check out the monthly. There's a reason. Coming into 200 month, we did break the down channel on the monthly, which doesn't have to necessarily be bearish for meantime, but it would not surprise me if we had a pullback to the 30 level, 33. I mean, if you want to look at it from the bigger picture, because this is where the support and resistance is, it's in here, and we talked about it on the daily. You can see, I mean, let me pull this sucker over. I love how the fibs line up with potential support resistance here, and that is awesome. Keep an eye on it. VALE, again, talked about liquidating and taking profits on materials. Can't get over this. I don't like seeing this lower high. I also didn't like the volume on the pullback, and then not really pumping higher. I don't mind it rising a lighter volume. That's okay. I mean, markets can do that. We've seen that. Technically, they can do that all freaking day. But be careful here, because that is a straight line move. Remember, again, I mean, the theme of the video, straight line moves. Straight line move pop, straight line move pop, straight line move bottom. And so again, tops, bottom, very different. But keep that in mind with up moves. I mean, the straight line is the top, and then you went into chop. That's what, I mean, if the market wants to be healthy, it needs to repair, and it probably will before earnings. Keep that in mind. Earnings start in the middle of April. That's what you need to think about. At this point, VALE, where do you want to buy back? Let the action play out. We need to see what the markets are going to do. I mean, if you trust that they're going to pump higher, keep in mind for the last 5 days, VALE has not followed. That saying what? It's lagging. Look at the SPY 5 days. I mean, it's literally gone bonkers. 443 up to 456. VALE has gone nowhere. That's telling you something. CCJ talked about liquidating this at channel high, taking profits, pulling back, not a problem. 20-day would be ideal. Even better would be some sort of test of the mid 20s. What price would it be exactly? I don't know. But if it pulls back 20% off the highs, you should grab a shovel, get to digging and buy some. Mosaic and CF. Now again, this is why we don't chase. Again, straight line moves. I mean, straight line move, pulls back, chops. Now, we went from 55 up to 71. And again, I'm not going to say the same thing over and over, but I really have to in that sense. When you get a straight line move, expect profit taking. It's pulling back. CF, same thing, went straight higher from 88 to channel high. Notice what happens. Pulls back. Goes from 110 to 103. And now, again, we'll see if it's one day doesn't make a trend. But it's pulling back. All right, let's get into the laggards. Now, this is a thing. Selling the AMD calls. I like the green, the doji, and the lower low, and the lower high. However, no follow through. I mean, it's the market's trying to carry this piece of poop, and it's holding up. Is what it is. I've always said it could get to 125, hence selling the 125 calls. If you remember, if you're paying attention, not a big deal. Apple. This is interesting again, because what do we say? It could get back up here. It could test this gap in 175, 176. I mean, we gapped down today on the action of their delay in inventory. SE phones, 20%, whatever, target reduction. Again, does the news really matter? Not really, because clearly it bounced right back. But I'd be interested to see, again, at the end of the day, short covering and pumping. It's amazing to see that if you look at most of the last end of the days, it looks like liquidation. Somebody's taking their profits. The candles are tight. Someone's absorbing it. But if I had to guess, market maker ain't buying it. Market maker is the one unloading it. So we'll see what happens. Again, people are like, oh, it's 10 straight days of going green. Yeah, you play the odds. I mean, it's like roulette, at a certain point, 10 reds in a row or 10 green, blues and blacks in a row. Will the red day be red next? It's still 50-50 after that, but every day is different. However, I will say at this point, you're coming into the top of the volume at price zone, and people who bought up here, will they be taking profits at some point? Now, does it mean it has to collapse? Probably not. Who knows? I mean, it's ultimately one of those things where you have to manage your trade. And shorting, again, do not believe in monster shorts every time the market pulls back. Sometimes it's just simple as that. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's chop. And so small down, big down, and chop. Those are your three options. And so at this point, assume this. This is the worst case scenario for your bear, and that's the best. 33% chance. That's how that usually goes. Keep it real simple. MicroStrategy, where are you, my friend? Where are you? There you are. What have we said? If Bitcoin goes, this goes. And it was going. So congratulations, the bulls. I know a few people who kind of watch this thing and trade it because they own Bitcoin. What's the next spot? I would probably anticipate the 560s to the 100-day. That would be your first resistance. However, the stock, when it goes, it goes. So if you're watching Bitcoin, make sure Bitcoin's going. Like, that's what you need to know. Keep it very, very simple. Roblox. I think they got an upgrade today to 56. It seemed like the market didn't care. It's this thing is interesting. It's just, is it basing to go freaking screaming higher? Like, is this going to turn into like some head and shoulders bottom complex? Now, again, this is where I talk about long-term trade. Like, let stuff play out. Like, keep an eye on it. Like, could this happen? Could that be the bottom before a monster move up in Roblox? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. No, put it in a storage closet and hold on to it. Tesla. So they're going to announce a dividend, which, okay, nice gap up. They're going to raise money. Interesting how we broke the 0.618 and we got up into this kind of, you can see it's like the top of the volume at price. Let me zoom out. You can see it. Maybe it's easier when you do a little this. But you can see if you drew that across, it's basically 1100. As a person who doesn't own the shares, but thinking in the sense that I wouldn't be owning them, because again, I don't know if there's much juice on the plate at this point. I mean, it's can Tesla continue to rise higher? Now, again, there's no doubt in my mind that he could get this thing squeezing, but you have to ask yourself, was the easy money made? Was the easy money made? I mean, you're buying this post split at 30s and it got up to 1300 almost. That is a monster move. Monster move. Now, again, could this be the consolidation to make a move higher? I'd be willing to bet that if it reaches somewhere in the 1200s again, this thing will get sold hard. And how hard? I guess it really depends on what's going on in the market. PENN Gaming, come on, this stock needs to move if you're a bull. Like, this is like March Madness. Is it a big head and shoulders complex? Oof, I don't know. I mean, is commodities going higher take money out of people's pockets? They can't gamble anymore. That's the thesis. That's like the take the other side of it kind of trade. Was it EXP? Again, we talk about this stock. If you could get it in the low 20s, it is cooking. Business is cooking. Househomes inventory is down, but EXP is doing business, doing a lot of business. We're adding agents. Looks good for to buy at this level. Now, again, don't get stupid on me, but look. The zones speak for themselves. Let it play out. Check it out. UTHR. Now, this one moves on its own. Remember, these medical companies, they're God, all of a sudden my brain is going farting. Yeah, anything medicine related, typically, biotech, this kind of stuff can really do whatever the hell it wants. That's what I struggle with it, because sometimes it doesn't follow the market. And I tell people, like, biotech is a mean sucker to buy and play. Hold in the 20-day. Looks good. I mean, I don't think I would be bearish that. Exxon Mobil XOP. I'm not going to say I was right because I don't know for sure, but I did draw this little box and I said 138 to 140 on the 100 month. I would be taking profit on the XOP. Why? Straight in the monthly. Straight line move. You went from 88 to 135. That is a big move. Pulls back even more. Pull back. I mean, again, the trend is broken. Let's not argue that. But I would be looking for dips. I mean, it's just the same thing as like the metals. Like, I'm looking for dips. This action is an inside day doji. We've seen again. This action, there's a lot of dojis. To confirm bullishness, you need to get over this today's highs. I mean, this actually makes, if you have the capacity to rationalize this trade, I think it's very easy. Short below 131, 132, buy it above here. That's all. In between, you are in no man's land. Send it on Exxon Mobil, the Mobil Exxon. Potential head and shoulders top. I talked about this. Now again, when everyone's like, you're pulling these formations out, and it's like, well, I know most tops and bottoms on the daily, if they're longer term, now not V bottom bullshit like market, but I'm talking about individual stocks, head and shoulders. Watch the videos on this. W patterns, M patterns, retest, bull traps, bear traps. I mean, there's not a lot of options for how the market tops and bottoms. And again, I'm not going to say I know for sure, but look at ExxonMobil, double bottom. That would be a W. I mean, I could literally go through every major stock that has trading liquidity and show you tops and bottoms, how they reminiscently look at certain things. Head and shoulders top, W. Let's take a look at the last high. Give me a second, because again, I'm trying to make a point here. If you can't see it, where is it? I think this is it in 20. I've got to go back to 2018 or okay, well, whatever, 2014. Again, a double top after a monster move. Went from 89 up to $104. I guess that was a monster move. Anyway, let's not beat the dead horse, but just keep in mind, like, watch the videos on these patterns. Like, they're so powerful. And so at this point, AMD got some naked calls sold. Those things have gotten crushed pretty good, up about $1. Apple down 2 or 3 points on the stock. With the puts started today, I haven't looked at the pricing of them. I imagine I am down a little bit. Again, I've got capital. Please do not gamble by meaning by all or nothing trading. All or nothing trading is gambling because you're pretending that you can pick the top with precision. I have given that up, even though I'm pretty good at picking tops and bottoms with precision. I still do not believe in certainty. I do not give myself pats on the backs because I picked one top in the past, because guess what? The next one I could be wrong on, because I know probabilities of me picking a top or a bottom are what? I don't know, 30, 40%. And it's, I mean, while we're talking about it, I thought here was the start of the top. We said, watch this move. We got over it. We said bullish. I said, okay, you have now exhaustion gap. But look what happened. You pulled back. Then you had the dojis. And then when I felt with about 90% surety that was a top, but thought that could be a top. Thought this could be a top blow off. I thought that could be a top. All this action ultimately led to what? Exhaustion with no volume and small price action. That's a little different than what most people might be used to. But keep in mind, this was a straight line move. And then ultimately happened. 1250 down to 700. If you took my advice and started selling, taking profits, being smart about Tesla, buying the dip, golf clap, because that's how you trade it. When you see an action go from nice and slow to straight line move is near the top. And notice what happened. You had basically a double top. You filled the gap or touched it, whatever you want to call it, close enough for government work, and then sometimes you get out early. Remember we were talking about retests and you're waiting for the exact price. Well, you never got it. You missed it by 10 points. All right, on that note, great review. Good stuff to talk about. Always a pleasure to catch up with everybody. I'll see you in the Discord.
Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.